pain. We keep it so low that we spitting your refrain. Adam Story's got a point if you let him explain. It's the pun of all puns, get a pun with Papa Wayne. Rum tapping the vein, and 9 minutes bringing pain. MHOG secreting, leaving a stain. You ain't as dope as us, bitch. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
3, 2.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. It's time for another MHOG podcast.
What?
I'm your host, Adam.
And I'm your other host, the Rum Guy.
And I'll do my best not to breathe into the microphone as Rum Guy is talking.
I'll try not to breathe into the microphone, for I'm partially inebriated.
Now, I listened to like the last episode that you were on that I recorded this way.
Yeah.
And like, and it's not the whole episode, but like I was doing this. But the thing is, like, cause I'm working on my laptop right now because my desktop computer was having issues. So Fledge Boogie is looking at it. Hopefully, you know, so I'm not situated very well. I'm kind of like all over the place, okay. And I don't have my boom mic holder. Anyway, we're gonna do a very short episode because Rum's using his phone, so I think it's costing him money.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like
but
I said,
yeah,
laptop's doing an update, and I get an snap thing. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't know what an snap thing is either.
So,
but
I think it's funny that it uses like a 1990s reference to like in living color, like snap. You know.
Maybe it's not a 90s reference. Maybe it's like a German thing. Like, you're welcome to the Snap.
Oh, it's possible. They all snap. Yeah, I like that.
Is it true that in Germany, like Krampus isn't just like a joke? Like it's what they actually make kids? Like, do you know?
Yeah, it's like a big thing there. Krampus is the Christmas devil incarnate. Matter of fact. Let's say there's a couple versions of Krampus. One of them, I know Amy and her mother was telling me stories when they were growing up. That there was a thing with on the Russian side with they would say to kids, they would use this little song on Christmas Eve, and they would say, you know, of course you have to do this after they come home from church, you know, Christmas Eve, and they would say zhiga zhaga kerapech. Went never Vutenich. I'm saying it probably wrong, but it's pretty close. And it means go to sleep, little child, or the goobies will cut off your head. And goobies are like little trolls.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was watching a video from Conan O'Brien, and he had some German guy on. I don't know who it was, but some famous German guy. And the guy was saying that he was like, you have the Santa Claus, we have the Krampus, and his whole family, including Fräulein, I don't remember what the woman's name was, whose organs she cuts you open and replaces with trash.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And his joke was, he's like, we believe that Fräulein Schmidt, I was just going with something. Fräulein Schmidt may have been the first German to recycle, which I thought was a cute joke. But his whole thing was, he's like, you reward children, whereas we scare the crap out of them. And he was like, well, that's horrifying. And he's like, do you see this child? And he shows him a picture of a child next to Krampus. And he's like, yeah, that's horrifying. And the guy goes, but he is well behaved.
Well, that was the whole point of it, I think, was to keep kids in check during the holiday season.
Yeah, well,
wouldn't you be terrified if you were a little kid and said, well, if you're not good, then this guy's going to come and cut off your head, and his wife is going to cut you open and stick trash in your insides? I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be good. I want to be super good all year. I want presents, not mass murder. That would be nice.
Well, I ate Wendy's for lunch, so I already stick trash in my insides. So I have two stories to talk about. One is sad. The other is actually sort of sad, but mostly hilarious.
Okay, let's go with the first one.
Oh, okay. So, we're both big fans. We used to do Radio DCP.
Sure.
We're both big fans of Universal Studios. And, Wayne's a big fan of He-Man. So, have you ever, I assume you've seen the Masters of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren at some point?
Many times, yeah.
So you like it?
No, I just watch it because I want something mindless to put on the TV while I'm staring at it sometimes.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those movies that you can't really say you like per se, but
yeah,
you just have a thing where, like, if it's on, you're like, yeah, I'll watch this.
Sure.
But, so both Masters of the Universe, okay. So there's a gentleman who worked on both Masters of the Universe as a director, as well as both Jurassic Park River Adventures, the one in California and the one in Florida, and T2 3D. He designed that.
One of my favorite things from the day. That was awesome.
That unfortunately just closed this year.
Of course, yeah.
And the other things, I don't remember what. His name is Gary Goddard, and we were trying to get him on. Well, we were gonna. I think we ran into a roadblock getting him on the show. And we never got around to it. Well, he's being accused of molesting 8 child stars in Hollywood.
Oh, shit. I'll snap.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll snap. He molested the children.
Well, maybe that was the problem. We couldn't get him on the show. Maybe we didn't have any kids involved.
He was fucking too many kids?
Well, at least, 1 or 2, but after you get that, you got too many.
I never found out whether it was a Jerry Sandusky molesting or Roman Polanski molesting.
Oh, there's different degrees, and all of them are bad, and MHOG does not condone molestation.
Oh, absolutely, but it's getting a little ridiculous. I mean, at this point, I feel like if they were to remake the movie Running Man in 2017, the name of the game show would be, Who Fucked That Kid?
Not funny, yet I laugh. I feel dirty. I need a shower.
No, it's horrifying. It's absolutely terrible. And I mean, this is a weird thing to say, but as a theme park fan, it kind of hurts my heart to, sure. And I'm friends with people who interviewed this guy, and it's and it was a big deal. Gary Goddard came on to talk about T2 3D and Jurassic Park, and it was a really interesting interview and all that. And yeah, he probably, again, we don't know for sure, but for me, a lot of times it's a numbers game. Cosby, at first I was like, Cosby didn't fucking rape those chicks, and then there was 30 of them. I was like, oh fuck, Cosby raped those chicks. Yeah,
if one of them is telling the truth, and that's I'm glad you brought this up, and I'll get into it in a second. But to keep on the subject that you're going with right now, it's a damn shame. One, something that was that. Allegedly, we'll go with allegedly, but I don't know until it comes out as fact. But
well, the thing is, this is probably 20 years ago, so we may never know. It's like the Roy Moore thing. Roy Moore, I'm gonna go ahead and say 99.8% probable he was trying to fuck 14-year-old girls when he was in his 30s.
But I mean, that's the South.
Not funny, Rum. Fucking
sorry,
fucking,
I forgot where I'm living.
Fucking Yankee. No, but I mean, at some point, when it's 20, 30 years ago, it really, there's circumstantial evidence, which is how you can say Roy Moore probably did it, because there's enough circumstantial evidence and corroborating witnesses and stuff like that. But at some point, you are just taking people's words for it. And it's the same thing. I'm assuming, I don't think Gary Goddard works in Hollywood anymore. He probably did all this.
What he did was amazing, it's a shame because these extracurricular things that happened, that if they did happen, and we're going with if they did, are horrible and should never have happened. But it's a shame that's going that's going to cast a cloud on the brilliance of the work that he did.
I like how you use the term extracurricular. Like he went from playing softball to softly playing with his balls.
Well, I didn't know how to word it. I'm trying to be a little, you know me, I'm all about being politically correct.
Villainous, yeah, that's you. Villainous proclivities.
There you go, villainous proclivity. You know what? That's even hard to say. I don't like it.
Villainous proclivities.
But I'm glad we're going on this route because you know what?
This child molestation route?
You know who I really don't like right now in the news?
A lot of people, but go ahead.
I don't like Rose McGowan.
Really?
I don't like her. I don't like her. It's not because of the movement that's moving around her. I think the movement is fine. That's fine. But today I'm watching the interview that she did with there was a panel of other women. You know, she's into the Me Too movement thing. Yeah. Which is very, very important. Women should speak out if there's an act against them.
Because she's one of the most famous people that was like assaulted by Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly. Here's my thing. The other ones that I'm not trying to make an excuse here. I really am not.
You're saying that bitch had it coming.
Any type of assault against, if you're a man, especially any type of assault against a woman is atrocious, and there is no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason for it.
What if it's a kosher assault?
Basically said on camera that all women, no matter what, should always believe, no matter what, and never be questioned.
Yeah. Is this
because I have never in my life run across a woman who lied to me.
Is this part of the Matt Damon thing?
No.
Okay, because I know she spoke about him as well.
Oh, well, she's a twat. She was a twat before this all happened. She's a hypocrite. She's apparently all about great values nowadays. When she was married to Marilyn Manson, which I find that absolutely hysterical. People seem to forget all the stuff she did when she was married to him.
Why? What did she do?
Oh my God, she did so much weird, fucking creepy shit like that. It got so bad. I think part of it. That's what made the divorce happen between her and Marilyn Manson, or whatever his name is. I know Marilyn Manson's the band, but Manson.
I think he calls himself that as well.
Okay. He actually looked at her at one point in time and went, "This bitch is a freak." I mean, that's a lot coming from a dude that removed a rib so he could bend over further so he could do his own stuff. That's messed up.
She was at Texas Frightmare this past year, and I remember walking.
That line was long.
It was mostly because she wasn't there half the time. And what tripped me out was she shaved her head. I don't know if it was for a movie. If so, I haven't.
Still shaved.
Okay, so all these people.
She must have had lice.
This is being very thorough. So all these people paid money to take a picture with her, and I'm just like, and you shaved your head.
Right, like, you shaved your head, Todd.
She shaved her head, charged, I'm sure, $75 a picture, and those people had to wait all fucking day long for her to show up so that they could take the fucking picture. And look, I'm not on the Rum train right now. I don't have anything against her, but I did remember thinking, like, what a cunt. But
I could just imagine being in line. I'm standing there with, your significant other, and they're like, okay, like, boy, girl, we're going up to get Rose McGowan's autograph, in a picture. And she looks at him and calls him a pig, and he should be put down, and looks at her and says, "You need to speak up, woman." Because that's the type of shit she's doing now. No matter what, there's no... I mean, I don't know. She's just so over the top right now with everything.
Well, to be fair, you don't know what happened to her and all this. I understand her being pissed off. Like she was told to keep quiet, to shut up, that no one would believe her. I understand her being... I mean, look, I don't know. That doesn't mean she's not a cunt, but...
No,
but I understand her being angry.
And she has the right to speak out. She should be speaking out. But now she's gone such extreme to every male on the planet that is absolutely insane. I mean, she's like, I don't know, crazy.
Well, to your point, so Matt Damon's in trouble right now.
Matt Damon, of all people.
Yes, and not just for covering up for Harvey Weinstein, which he supposedly did. So, Matt Damon did an interview, I think it was like with Business Insider or something like that.
Okay.
And people were asking him about, like, you know, would you work with someone who's accused of sexual harassment or sexual assault or rape? And he's basically, I don't want to like misquote him, but basically he said it's kind of on a case-by-case basis. Because
I did see part of this interview. I know what you're talking about. Sure.
Well, he said, you know, like, because you're conflating, like, people are conflating all this stuff, and it's good that this stuff is coming out, but they're conflating. Said there's
different degrees of it.
Right, because he's like, you can't conflate sexual harassment with sexual assault or rape, you know. Right. And like he said, well, they're all bad. They all need to be gotten rid of. Like, this shouldn't be happening, but you can't conflate somebody saying nice tits with somebody grabbing a woman's tits. And
that doesn't work.
So a bunch of like Hollywood stars, including Rose McGowan, like did interviews where they were calling him out and saying he's an asshole and that this is why women don't get believed, which again, we've been believing women for 3 months straight now. like
we've been believing women for a lot longer than that. I don't know why McGowan thinks they haven't been being believed.
Because
all it takes is one bad accusation from a woman to ruin one guy's life.
But the thing is,
for something completely malicious that has nothing to do that actually happened. A lot of times it has happened. Sure, fine, but there's proof. And if there's an allegation that happened, he touched my ass 40 years ago, fuck you. That statute of limitations is gone. Grow up and get a thicker skin.
Well, there's actually a Donald Trump story that I'll tell you in a minute that actually completely reflects that. But
okay.
But the problem is that I always say there's a lot of dumb women that have never been sexually harassed or raped or sexually assaulted who are feminists who say shit like women don't get believed. And then other women, because they keep hearing these dumb women say no one will believe you, like they just assume they won't be believed and they don't speak out, you know, and then, you know, like, but if there's anything the last year should teach all these women is that you can speak out, you will be believed. Unfortunately, you will be believed over the man, whether he did it or not. Well, I mean, if he did it, then it's good that you get believed over him, but you know, but I mean, I'm seriously waiting for someone to get killed because he gets falsely accused. In fact, there was a story, I didn't read into it too much, but there was a story of a man, this black guy in his 40s or 50s finally got released because they found out that he was falsely accused of rape, and he was in there for decades.
Well, he's owed his life back some way or another financially from his accuser.
Oh, I honestly, this is a horrible thing to say, but like I'd be up for just giving him a knife and just being like, go do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like you lost your entire life because this woman lied about you.
And there is just as many. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb here because I've worked with so many. There are more evil women than there are evil men in this world. Behind every famous male tyrant is an evil woman standing there controlling him.
I don't know. Eva Braun put out.
Yeah, well, she was a looker, though.
But before we get off of this, I did want to, you mentioned women 30 years ago, you know, somebody touched your ass. So so I don't know all the stories of the women that are accusing Donald Trump of varying degrees, because it's not like they make it seem like there's 15 women accusing him of rape, and that's not it. I don't know if any of them are accusing him of rape. There may be some. Some of them are bullshit.
Two of them were sitting there on the panel with Rose McGowan.
Oh, really?
None of them accused him of rape. One of them said that she was also engaged in a consensual relationship, but she felt intimidated by his power.
Yeah, there's a lot of that bullshit. Like that's what the world's become. But one of the women I know was a beauty contestant for Miss Universe, and she said she felt uncomfortable because Donald Trump would ogle the girls. And to me, like, the fact that that woman's given any air at all is fucking insane. You're a beauty contestant. Shut the fuck up.
Did you see her interview? She was like...
I didn't see that one.
I know exactly which one you're talking about because they were interviewing her, and she had the word... I mean, her answers were awful. She had these spaced out, like, pauses, like, and then he came backstage, and then there was an awkward moment of silence, and then he
she was just demonstrating, though.
It was so horrible. I was like, is she thinking about which line to choose?
Well, wait,
is her brain not working?
There's actually a better one than that.
Okay.
So I might get this wrong, but I think the woman's last name is Hearth. Okay. So she sued Donald Trump in the late 90s for, it might have been like she claimed he touched her ass or something like that. It definitely wasn't rape. Might have been sexual harassment. Might have been, because grabbing a woman's ass is technically sexual assault. Is it the kind of thing where you should just punch the guy in the face or have him beat up and just move on with your life? Yes. But it's inappropriate for a guy to just grab a woman's ass. I think we can all agree with that.
Unfortunately, I miss the 40s. I wish I lived then.
Really, Rum? You just opened yourself up for an old joke. But
I did, and I did that for your benefit, but I really wish I would have lived in the 40s because it was more acceptable than, you know what? It sucks because back then you could go, hey, baby, you look nice. Look at you. You're all put together correctly. Look at that.
Yeah, you also had to go fight in World War II, but point taken. So this woman Hearth sued him for either sexual assault or sexual harassment. I think she lost. I'm not positive.
I'm sure she did.
So I'm sure she did interviews here or there since then, but largely just went away and went on with her career until either 2015 or 2016. I want to say it was late 2015 when she saw that Donald Trump was running for president. Now, Hearth is I don't remember her name. Let's say Angela Hearth. I think that might be it. Angela Hearth is a makeup artist. So she wrote Donald Trump multiple times begging him to let her, like, first of all, saying she is 100% on board the Trump train, just like everyone else, and that it kills her as a makeup artist to see him looking so orange and highlighted poorly. And she said she would sculpt his face so he would look beautiful on stage. Multiple letters sent, including to him personally, not just to his campaign.
Did he say, I'll sculpt your face?
No, I don't think he ever saw them.
Okay.
But, and it was really psychotic because the way the letters are written, from what I could tell, the ones that they posted transcripts from, it was written as if she had never met him and not, I'm sure Donald Trump's been accused of things and has met a lot of women in his life. But I feel like you'd remember a chick that sued you for sexual harassment.
I think you would. Well, you know what? Maybe not, because for when you reach a certain, I'm assuming now, don't get me wrong, I don't know this for fact because it would be nice to have that sort of money in my life, but I don't.
Oh.
I think if you reach a specific point in your life when you've got so much money that you just wake up and you've made like $25,000 by pooping.
Well, he was always rich.
Whatever. Right, he's always rich. I think an accusation like that is just something that's passed over. Like, whatever.
Either way, it's a weird. I mean, I guess what's the alternative? She could have been like, "Hey, remember me? I sued you."
Oh yeah.
But she was interviewed recently, asking her like, "So, wait, you tried to get in his campaign?" And she's like, "Yeah." So, I mean, she tried to get a part of the campaign. When that didn't work, she then became one of the women speaking out against him.
Right, because she did the job.
Yeah, well, she wanted fame, and she was trying to get him to endorse her line of male makeup products. Which
no motive there for any type of
right. And they asked her, they were like, "Well, what is this?" And she's like, "Well, at the time, I was thinking that it'd been 20 years, and I was mature, and I really needed the money." Like, I don't know, it's some kind of bullshit excuse, but it's like, oh, okay. So when they say 15 women, like, it's not 15 women that are necessarily credible. Like, some of them might be. I don't want to speak out of turn and act like I listen to all these testimonies, but some of it's straight up bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course, it will have to be. I mean, well, come on now. I mean, as we all know, for the most part, guys are guys, and they're not bright a lot of times when it comes to interacting with women.
Yeah, well, women aren't bright a lot of times when it comes to interacting with men.
But we tend to get the brunt of the stupid, the sign. We get the sign that says this is just a guy, he's a pig, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But women are vindictive. When they don't get their way, they're vindictive. What's bad about that is the ones that are victimized, the ones that go through and are carrying these burdens with them of that are legitimate, get overlooked because a lot of them are. I mean, when one person comes out and says, "Oh my God, this guy, she was brave enough to come out. He assaulted me." Okay, 2 people come out. He also assaulted me, and she can prove it. Another 20 come out after that. They have no background proof, and they say that it happened 45 years ago that he assaulted me. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work for you. The first 2, sure. The first 3, if it can be proven, that's one thing. But this shit we're seeing on the news nowadays with the he touched my knee on an airplane back in 1972. Fuck you. That's all I got to say.
Fair enough. We can't lump them all together, but I hear you. There's a lot of bullshit ones. There's a lot of bullshit ones.
There is, and we've got to keep them separate, because if we don't separate them, then the ones that have legitimate cases, they get diluted by the ones that are just out for fortune and fame.
Right.
Focus on the ones that are really, have the strong case. We don't need to worry about 1964, what happened then. We need to know what happened last week, a month ago, last year, that can be proven and corroborated, because this is the number one way it's going to kill. And here's another thing. It just doesn't happen from guys doing this to women. You're not hearing it about the women that have done it to guys, because there has been women in power for quite a long time. And this is actually a happening thing. There's a lot of guys out there trying to do interviews, like this woman did this. Well, we're not going to believe you because we can't have that in the media right now because this is all about the women. It'll take away from that. Now, that's not very fair either. The only people that are going to believe right now are the guys that have been attacked by other guys and the guys that have attacked women. Not the women have gone over and, done these things to these young guys, these young kids coming up from everything through Disney, from Paramount. There's a couple guys that are saying that the female executives forced them to do certain things that they wanted to continue their careers. Well, that's not in the media right now. Why isn't it? Because it's only going to be one-sided right now, because that's the way the media works. One thing at a time. And by the time it all gets, blown out there all over the place like a shotgun blast, no one's going to care what that guy said.
So what you're saying is that it's one rape at a time. Sorry.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah. I knew where you're going with it, but that was...
That's the name of the name of the episode.
I don't think that should be the episode name. I think that's probably a bad idea.
Well, we could always go with Who Fucked a Kid?
No, that's a bad one too. All
right, I'll keep thinking. Moving on. So something interesting happened to me yesterday that was very unexpected.
Oh. You won money?
No, nothing good. Well, actually, hilarious, but I don't know if it's good. So the other day, people have been losing their minds. In fact, one of the funny things that I've seen a lot of conservatives saying is all these people saying that we're going to die because of the tax cut bill. And a bunch of them are a bunch of online personalities that I enjoy were like, I mean, didn't we all just die from the net neutrality? What? Yeah. How are we going to die from? We're going to die twice. But yeah. So apparently Marco Rubio was holding out on the vote to get in an extra $300 tax credit for families with children, like small children, infants or something like that.
Yeah, they need more. Go ahead.
Right. And so Brent Spiner, who plays Commander Data on Star Trek The Next Generation, saw this that Marco Rubio held out, and he got the extra $300 and wrote, "Oh, way to go, Mark. Way to be a hero. You know, now a family of 4 can go to the movies and get popcorn," which was pretty douchey because, like, I don't know about
kind of douchey. Is that what he actually said? That's fucked up.
Oh yeah. I don't know about you, but like, I mean, I don't have any kids, but I could use an extra $300. Like, that would help a decent amount.
It would, but it's not going to help me because I don't have kids. But you know, whatever.
Right, but I'm just saying, $300 is a lot of money to most people.
Sure.
It's not anything to sniff at anyway, especially if you know, is it a huge amount of money? No, unless you need it and you're like absent $300 on your rent.
That's 3 bills right there. I mean, like, you know, literally bills.
Right, right. So I saw that and I retweeted them and I wrote, "So you're taking I take it you're going to take a pay cut on your next movie, right?" The joke being like he's making fun of like the $300 like it's nothing, and I'm like, what you're actually inadvertently admitting is that the cost of movies is like insanely high at the moment for people to go to the theater, right. Which it is. And it was just a joke that I forgot about and I let go. Well, Nick Branch, a friend of mine who's been on the show, was on the show a couple of months ago, saw that and wrote, "LOL, what movie?"
Oh, burn.
To which I wrote, "Come on, don't insult the man. I'm sure he's doing, you know, something." Which I don't think he is. But so we both kind of forgot about it. Then yesterday morning, first thing in the morning, I see my phone, the Twitter's notifications pop up, and some dude who I think follows me got really pissed off and was like, "Actually, Brent Spiner's a master of stage and screen," and some other shit, which I was like, all right, dude. Like, and Nick responded and said, "I'm actually a big fan of Brent Spiner. It was just a joke." Yeah. Like,
right.
Which I was like, okay, cool. Went on about my day. An hour later, I look, Brent Spiner responds.
Holy shit.
That's what I said. Fucking Commander Data responds and says, "There's this thing called IMDb. You might want to look it up." To which I responded, "Holy shit, that is both hilarious and sad." And Nick said, you know, he posted a picture of the definition of the word sarcasm. And then he tweeted, he was like, "Look, Mr. Spider, like, I'm actually a big fan. It was just a joke. Sorry if you took offense." However, it turns out it was too late. Brent Spiner blocked him. And when he told me that, I was like, I wonder if he blocked me too. Yep. Fucking Commander Data blocked me.
Well, that fucks up the whole con thing then. Great. Now you're... See, but now this is going to be great because now you're going to have that same moment that I had with Al Green and what's his name from fucking Full House? Uncle Jesse.
John Stamos.
John Stamos. You're going to have your own John Stamos.
Okay, but I didn't... You technically assaulted Al Green.
No, I didn't assault him. It was a complete accident.
Okay, negligence, but still.
I mean, that wasn't intentional assault. That's just shit happens. Welcome to America. That's the fucking... That's...
Is that what you told him when the curtain fell?
No, actually, what I told him when the curtain fell was, "I found your shoe, sir." And he was like, "That's my shoe." But anyway, that's fucked up. The Data did that to you, man.
Yeah. Well, what's really hilarious is that made me remember a story, and you've probably heard this story before, but I haven't told it on the show in a while. That whole thing is almost as funny as the time I ended up trolling. There's a guy in New Orleans whose whole cosplay thing is that he cosplays as Data, and he fucking looks like Brent Spiner. Like, he looks younger because Brent Spiner's pretty old now. I think he's like close to 60. But but the dude's like does the makeup perfectly, whole 9 yards, looks like him physically.
Wow.
And
that's sad.
It wasn't intentionally about him, but I ended up trolling him and a bunch of other Trekkies because if you recall, a few years ago, Leonard Nimoy died.
Right. I remember you went to the funeral thing.
Yeah. So in New Orleans, we have this stupid fucking thing where when a really famous person dies, they do an honorary second line funeral. Now, bear in mind, the body doesn't come to New Orleans so that there can be an actual say. Like, it's just like, oh, we're just going to have a party and pretend like, you know, I hate the second line shit to begin with. It's fucking stupid.
What do y'all use? Like a mannequin from Old Navy or something? Or?
Well, let me get to that. So I wasn't going to go. And then, a friend was like, come on, let's go and let's make fun of these people. And I was like, that's a good point. So I put on my Lando Calrissian shirt, which says something like intergalactic lovin' or something like that.
I forget what Schlitz commercial with the Star Wars. That's great.
No, it's him as Lando, but it's I forget what it says, but it's something funny, and it barely fit me. I really shouldn't have been wearing it, but I was like, I'm wearing it to this motherfucker. But so we went down there, and there's people like, most of them are dressed in Star Trek gear. Some of them are dressed in other things like Doctor Who or whatever.
Sure.
But you know, they're all there for the second line, and they got their little like hankies, you know, because you're supposed to wave like a
the way,
you know, yeah. And so somebody built a casket like the one from Wrath of Khan.
Oh, awesome! Like the Genesis Project thing.
Yeah, but put it on wheels. So we were like, holy shit, they brought a fucking casket. What the fuck? There's nothing in it. There's nothing fucking in it. And we were standing around, we're like, hey, like, because people were taking pictures with it. We were like, let's go and take a picture and put our hands on the casket and act like we're in mourning. Now, at this point, I should point out, I am a fan of Leonard Nimoy. I am a fan of Star Trek. I think he's awesome. He was great in Fringe, and he is motherfucking Galvatron. So,
well, not to mention he was great in Search Of.
Yeah. He was great as Mr. Spurk. But you know, but like this is silly. Like it's good. Like I appreciate like mourning your favorite actor and all that, but this is fucking silly. So we all put our hands on it, and someone took our picture.
Right.
Cut to the next day. The local newspaper is the Times-Picayune. It's a very old newspaper. It's a pretty shitty newspaper, and actually I think they stopped doing print editions. Their website is called NOLA.com. And
I remember that.
Now people go to get their news from NOLA.com.
Hold on a second. But before I have to do this real quick. All right. Got a flush.
You motherfucker. I'm keeping that in just so you know. The next morning we get up, fucking front page of NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune's website. We're on it.
That is so stupid.
And the headline is like, mourners show up to show respect to Leonard Nimoy in New Orleans second line. And we were like, holy shit, this just went to fucking 11. This is incredible. And you'd think the story would end there. It does not. So one of our friends shared it, and I don't remember exactly what happened. But I remember posting on there like, rest in peace, Mr. Spock. And I posted a picture of Zachary Quinto from the fucking new Star Trek. And the fucking Trekkies got pissed. Like really pissed. And we started doing that thing where you're just like may the force be with them. And they're like, that's not fucking Star Trek. And so finally, fucking the fake Commander Data was like, guys, they're just screwing with you. It's a joke to them. And he ended up being a really cool guy.
That's fucked up.
But I tell you all that just to point out, like, he fucking had a better sense of humor than the actual fucking Commander Data.
Oh, wow. I can't believe it. That's just that guy went out of his way to... See, that's why I don't go on Twitter. You know how many people I'd piss off on Twitter?
I know how many people you piss on in real life, so...
Well, yeah, but I mean, in Twitter, I mean, just magnify that by 10. I mean,
so many followers you have, 10. Well...
You know, the first person I would probably go online with would, you know, I'd try to track down is probably John Stamos or Al Green, just because.
You should.
You know,
oh,
that'd be awesome.
Before we get off, I want to tell you this. Speaking of Twitter. So last night I had a gift card for Chili's and I went there and it ended up being a big mistake. And like all night, like my stomach was fucked up because I got the stupid ass chicken crispers instead of a burger. Yeah, the chicken crispers are really bad. I'm actually going to give them a bad review today, but, so I went on Twitter this morning and wrote, had a dream that I was working in a small company ballet. Guess I'll never eat Chili's again. And fucking Chili's responded. What? Yes. And they were like, how was your experience? Like, what happened? And I explained it to them. And I thought about being a dick and trying to draw this because part of me was like, fucking get banned by Chili's. You need to get banned by Chili's too. Get blocked by them. But I thought about it. I was like, well, I mean, if they look and they see New Orleans, they're going to know like it's one of these. And like, I don't want somebody to get fired or something like that, you know?
Sure.
So I was like, I don't want to push this too far because you never know. You never know what's going to fucking happen.
Right.
And the waiter and the waitress were very nice. So I kind of like let it go. Some fucking dude like retweeted Chili's responses to me. I'm like, what? So I go look on. This dude has a fucking Twitter account where he just follows like 99% of it was Chipotle. And all he doesn't say anything himself. He just retweets corporate responses to customer satisfaction statements.
He's making $1 million doing this somehow.
I thought about retweeting him and going like, look at this shit. But then I was like, no, because this is probably like, this is what the guy wants. Like he wants to be famous, you know? So I'm like,
I was going to say that I don't eat at Chili's very often. I mean, very rarely. I think I can count on one hand how many times I've eaten at Chili's in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But with you said the chicken crispers, was that the ones with the chicken crispers on waffles?
No.
Oh, those are awesome.
I'm never eating chicken crispers again. They're always like, I don't know if it's fucking even chicken. It might actually be cat. Like they're always fucked up now.
I'm all up over cat. If it tastes like that, it was okay. Here, it's not bad. I mean, I guess it depends on its location, but they have these honey chipotle crispers on top of Liege waffles that are covered in sugar. It's
okay. The honey chipotle crispers are a little different.
Okay.
Those are like deep fried, like really heavily.
Yes.
The regular crispers are cooked a little differently, but they never come out like it's weird. I think it's because they're freeze dried, but
astronaut chicken.
Wow. All right. Well, let's end this. Like I think we've said all we need.
Before we go, I got to say something to you.
Sure.
I got to say this is going to be probably the last episode I'll be on until after the holidays. After tomorrow, I'll be heading down to see my folks. I'll be off for about 5 days. So I want to say happy holidays to everybody who's listening. And I hope you have a good Christmas as well. And hope Wayne, I'm sure he's listening, is going to have a great holiday and all that good stuff. And like I said, you're going to be getting a envelope in the mail, man. It's coming soon. You should be there in a couple days. Hopefully there before Christmas. You can't miss it. It's a bright yellow envelope.
I'll check it for white powder.
Okay, check it for, but don't open until Christmas Day.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Rum, as well as Amy. We love you and miss you.
I look forward to seeing you as soon as I can, guys.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the MHOG podcast. This has been Adam.
And I am the Rum Guy.
We shall keep it metal.
Oh, metal.
I'll snap.
Have a great holiday, everybody.
All right, Rum. Have a good night.
when they clinically insane. We keep it so metal that we speaking your refrain. Adam stories got a point if you let them explain. It's the pun of all puns, get a plan with Papa Wayne. Rum tapping the vein, 9 minutes bringing pain. MHOG